Best metal albums of 2023 so far here in the summertime. It's been 6 months already and so many great albums being released, and we're going to take a look about 13 plus one of those. So hang on, because this is going to be cool. Welcome to my channel, I'm Leonite, and today we have the best album so far of 2023. We have passed 6 months now into 23, and it's time to take a little round up now to find out what we have so far. And what can I say? Well, so far so good. So what? Because 23, wow, it's a very good year for hard rock and heavy metal. I wanted to make a top 10 list, but that was very difficult because there's so many good albums this year. So I narrowed it down to 13 plus 1. Why I call it 13 plus 1? Well, you will find out and you will understand. I took out the black metal and most of the death metal. I have a little bit thrash metal and one kind of melodic death metal here, but the rest is hard rock and heavy metal. So just to start right away, because this year, well, it's been pretty good ones. The first one, well, I want to say a little bit special one, because we go into Germany. Usually Germany, wow, it's the land of power metal, but they have a nice debut this year. That's name is Ravenstein. Ravenstein from Germany. It's a very cool band. It's not exactly heavy metal. It's more hard rock, a little bit Crocus, Shakra. And one thing is very cool with this band that's really get my attention. That's the drummer, Mr. Hanno Kirsten from Mystic Prophecy. So they have a very good drummer in this band. The next album up, well, that's Ignea from Ukraine. And with the album, Dreams of Land Unseen. A very long-awaited album, this one, but it's not strange why we have to wait so long for this one. Well, they are from Ukraine and Ukrainian war, so I really thumbs up for these guys to make a very good melodic death metal album in the middle of a war. That's a very great one. They are maybe a little bit harder, a little bit darker than before, a little bit more growling from hell on this album, but it's a very good one. I have done a reaction video with Ignea and Ersedu when they have a little, what can I say, collaboration here. You can see the link in the description down below. Very good one. The next album, well, that's real heavy metal for sure, and a very classic band. That's Metal Church. With the album, it's a little bit difficult, Congregation of Annihilation. Very difficult title on this album. But album, it's good. I have a 3-4 very good, hard-hitting heavy metal songs. It could have been better, that's why it's a little bit low on my list. But it's interesting about the album. They have the new singer, Mr. Lopez, and he did a very good job. I also did a reaction video from this album. You can see it down in the description down below. It's a Pick Your God and Pray. A very good song and maybe one of the best songs on the album. The other one I will want to mention on this album, it's this Violent Thrills. So it's a worth listen to, so it's good to have Metal Church back now, since, well, Mr. Howie passed away in 21. So we move on to the next one, and now it's a very special one, because Italian triple threat. So follow me. Let's take a little trip to Italy, because they have more than just pizza, pasta and spaghetti. They also have real cool hard rock and melodic metal and goth metal. First band from Italy I want to put on, this is the Church of the Scream. Very cool, since we just had Metal Church, right? It's the band Scream Machine, and the second album from these guys. It has some influences from the 80s. It's more like 80s hard rock, this one, but still have the touch of the modern style. So check out Church of the Scream. I did a reaction video on them, so you can see that in the description down below. It's a very good one. The next Italian band on the list, Call from the North with Frozen Crown. Frozen Crown, very good power metal from Italy. They play fast but still hard, and also have a very good female singer, It's Jade. They've been touring a lot, these guys. They all have just been in Japan for a big cool festival there and concerts. and they have also been around in Europe, and they've been also supported by DragonForce from a few years ago, so they are very on the rise, this band. The third band I want to mention from Italy, well, that's just a band who just released a cool album, the hybrid ego system, and that's False Memories. With Rosella on the vocal here, good, nice vocal, very special one, that fits also into this music, into this album. It's not the medieval stuff that we usually see in this kind of goth and melodic metal style, but this is more futuristic. You can also see that in the video they make, and when we start talking about video, well, they also have Annette Olsen and the guest artist on this album. It's a very good song, and again, I made a reaction on that video. You can see the link down below, but I also did an album reaction or an album review from this album because it was a very good one, so it's really deserved to be reviewed. So 3 good albums from Italy, and I think it's more to come. I'm waiting for some other bands. So we'll see what the end of the year will bring, but so far so good, so what? So we go over to Sweden now. Sweden, wow, they produce so many good bands. I'm not thinking about Loreen and the Eurovision Song Contest here. I talk about the Queen from Sweden, Live Sin. Kaliuga, the new album from them. And if you don't know about Liv Sin, well, she also formerly known as singer in Sister Sin. This album, it's a very good one and very long-awaited one too, because there have been many things about the Sister Sin and Liv Sin and many things around that. But she finally made a crew together and make a very good hard rock album. Maybe it's not exactly hard rock through the album because it's much more aggressive, this one, and it's more heavy metal into it too, so that was really a bit fresh sound from Liv Sin, so it's worth to be in the top 13+1 albums. And oh, my fellow metalheads, well, what can I say? Thrash heads. Because we have to mention one band, and we cannot come without it. It's a good old classic, old school thrash, and that's OverKill with the album Scorch. They have done many albums, and this one, Scorch, is one of the best in many years, I will say, personally, because the sound here is better, the riffs on the album is more clear and it's more catchy, and a little bit more old school mixed with a new sound, so it's a very good one. One thing I want to mention about the album, it should be... This album should have been released back in the pandemic days, about around 1920-21, but because of the pandemic, they postponed the album. Maybe they did some extra work on it, because the touch on this album, Scorch, it's a very good one, and it's one of the best thrash albums I have heard so far in 23. So, OverKill, well, album number 20, it's really worth listening to, because it's very good and hard hitting. I love the band, so it's a very good one. Scorch, OverKill, oh yes. The next album on the list, well, that's Shakra. Wow, what a great hard rock band this is. So Switzerland do not only have a Swiss knife and a perfect Swiss watches, they also have real cool quality hard rock. Shakra, the album Invincible, you really have to check this out, because it's very good one. I also did a Mel talk about this album when they, well, not exactly about the album, it was the 3 first video they released from the album. And in fact, this video number 3 was one of my favorites on this album. It's very good. It's a Tell Her That I'm Sorry. Very good quality hard rock from Shakra this year, so it's a very good contender to be the best album of the year. So, Switzerland, hard rock, it's true. So, we move on to the next one. Okay guys, I told you 13+1 albums, and that's why I have to do this one. 13+1, well, that it's Gloryhammer and Angus McFive, so that you understand why we could not exactly put in the number 14. I wanted to put in number 13+1, because this is almost the same band. I can't decide what album is best of these two. Is it Angus McSix, The Power of the Sword, or Return to the Kingdom of Five with the Gloryhammer? I really need your help here, so please leave a comment down below what you think about these two albums. I really want to know, because, well, if you don't already know, Angus McSix, well, he left the Gloryhammer to become Angus McFive from the B5, and the cool thing about Gloryhammer when they released this album, that they used Return of the Kingdom of Five in the name of the title, even that Angus left the band. So it's very cool, these two. That's why these two albums have something similar together, and the music is almost the same. Fantasy power metal with some humor in it, and it's very good songs too, very catchy one. I can't decide what's the best of them, so please let me know again. Write down in the comments down below, because I really want to know what you think about who's the best or better or not, or yeah, the difference between these two. I have listened to both albums several times, and I think I'll leave it to you guys. So there you have it. Angus McSix and Gloryhammer, two giants album in 23, in the first half of 23, of course. So we move on to the next, and that one is more metal. This is real good heavy metal, clean heavy metal, with Richie Faulkner and Ronnie Romero on the vocal, and Horns for Halo in the name of this album. It's really kick-ass, and I was very surprised about this one. Many people say that, oh, the title Ronnie Romero because he's in many bands already, but in this one I think he uses his voice different, and together with Richie Faulkner's hard heavy metal guitars that did not sound like Judas Priest. So I was very happy that he made a little bit his own sound, well, not own sound directly, but a clean heavy metal sound and not a copy of Judas Priest, to say it like that. Good album, Horns for Halo, Mystic Prophecy from Germany, real cool power metal. The album Hell Riot got released in some mid-May, so it's a very, still a very fresh album, but it's a very good one. So this one is also one of my contenders to be the 2023 best album, well, album of the year, maybe better to say that. A very good album, many good songs, and what I really like this album, that the Mystic Prophecy this time tried a little bit different, not too much, but just a little bit. They put in some keyboard in the two of the songs. It's not a part of the music pictures, but also a little bit some touch about some introduction to the songs. It's a very good one, that they don't push it too much. So that's what I really like with the Mystic Prophecy. You always know what you get. I just want to talk a little bit about the band, because this band can also be called some kind of a super group. We have a Joey Rocks on the bass guitar, very known from Lady Evil, the Black Sabbath tribute band. We have Dan Bound from the Lost Sanctuary, and also from Devil's Train, and that brings us to the singer Liapakis. He's also the singer in Devil's Train, and played then together with Dan Bound. And then we have a guy we have already talked about today in the beginning of this program. That is Hanno Kirsten, the drummer, so also, well, from Ravenstein. So it's a very good group, this one, very good musicians here. And it's a very, what can I say, it's a very compact album. That's why I really like it. The sound is good, the production is good, the cover here also look very cool. So everything is very good, and it's I was very happy when I heard the album, because it's been a while since we heard from Mystic Prophecy. The last time was the Metal Division, that's released in very early 2020, but because of the pandemic they couldn't go on tour to promote it, so that went very late. So this album, well, it has been ready for quite a long time. I think it's over 1 year already, and now they found out, okay, in 23 they released it and went on tour. That brings us to the last album, to number one this first half. Maybe not a surprise for you guys, but this one, Lovebites, The Judgment Day. So far, so good. The best album of 23 in my opinion. This album have everything, and it's really hit you in the face right away when you listen to it. And the end of the album, Soldier Stands Solitude, what an ending of an album. I never heard some kind of a song finish an album before. It's so hard, it's so fast, and it's really just boom, blow your mind. So all the album is very good. I want to tell you something. Some albums are good, some other albums are very good, and some albums are too good. And Lovebites, Judgment Day, well, this album, well, it's too good. The first time I listened to the album, after I heard it, all the song, I just sit there and, wow, what happened now? Because it was so good, so many elements, and also very fast. So this is more kind of a power metal, speed metal in this album. So this is a very strong contender for the best album of 2023. And well, we're only 6 months into the year, and they have still 6 months left, and many good albums is coming up. This was the album I had this time. I really want your opinion, so please comment down below and tell me what kind of albums you like, or you agree or disagree. Please write it down. I really need your opinion and what kind of albums maybe could be a good contender to be the best album of the year. It don't have to be the top best, but maybe your own favorite. Please list it down below. It's very cool to say, and we'll mention all those later in a Metal Talk program. Been a fantastic time with you guys to share my opinion about the albums, and stay tuned for more. And in the meantime, stay cool, stay safe, stay metal, and always rock on. See you soon.